stereotypes when it comes to how war impacts people. One of the things that doesn't get really talked about and really needs to be talked about is how war impacts marriage.
And relationships in general, or even whether you want to get into a relationship or just to continue something that's not that significant yet. Everyone, whether people are living here in Israel or whether Jews are living out there in the diaspora, everyone has been affected. It's a seismic shift, man. It's a seismic shift. And relationships require a certain level of stability, whether it's economic stability, who I am, who you are. We need those things to be in the same place. And this thing has knocked everything over and the cracks are showing all over the place.
So we hope that this series is not only helpful, but also validates your experiences if your relationship or your marriage is suffering.
One of the things that we thought to speak about was
how stereotypes are different and expectations are therefore different. Imagine the couple at war, he's the hero, he's gone off, she's waiting for him lovingly at home, he comes back, if he comes back well, and everybody's so happy to be reunited. It's so far from the truth of how it actually works. I'll give you a small example. What if a man is a fantastic soldier and really a hero to the world, but when he comes home, he's a useless husband? How's she supposed to look at her husband like the world does as this big hero when she's actually feeling incredibly let down by how pathetic he is as a partner?
Or let's just say you're just a regular guy and maybe your partner is out there really being active on behalf of the Jewish people on the campuses, or in terms of organizing stuff in the local community, or in Israel raising money, or taking in families. And there's all kinds of things that you don't feel necessarily that you're able to do as much as the other person has been doing. And they kind of changed as a result because they weren't really like that before. So there's this like weird shifted dynamic that happens. What do you do when that happens?
So the first thing really is just to bear in mind that your experience is your experience. What other people's experiences are is irrelevant. What you expected your experience to be has now become irrelevant. You have to look, first of all, at your own relationship in its own context. No comparisons, no expectations, and work with that.
And I think one of the ways to deal with that is to realize that just because your partner has changed and just because your situation has changed, even if it's temporary, the truth is that stuff happens all the time. This is really profound and this is really extreme right now, but the truth is no one expects their relationships to just stay the same. So what I always think people should do in that situation is to try and take things down a notch. In other words, focus in on the things that are the same or that are super special. Add extra energy into the things that you know that work, because whilst you might feel like you're being left behind, or you may be leaving the other person behind, but the truth is you're together. So creating an equivalence, creating a massive amount of emotional input into the other person, or support, or encouragement, or leaving them alone in some way, you've got to shift in order to regain balance in the relationship.